Well, hey there, it's Leslie from LuvINK&Paper, and I wanted to share with you another way that you can use the gilded leafing embellishment from the January to June catalog. So really any of our adhesives will work with this product. I'm going to use the Tear and Tape today and show you how you can get some really fun stripes. Okay, so I'm just going to take my Tear and Tape and run it across this piece of cardstock. Okay, like that. And you can vary them. Like I could make a couple really close together and then spread them back out again. It's all up to you. And I am going off just a little bit to make sure that I get it all the way to the edge. Okay, and then when I peel that off, I will just fold that back on. It'll be fine. Okay. So just do that. I got a couple more to do here. And as I'm using more and more of my gilded leafing, I'm having a harder time pulling out big pieces to lay on top. So I'm finding that just pushing it down into my container is working quite well. So that might be something you want to try if you haven't already. And I think I'm going to go one more little one here. And I think I'm going to turn it and do one more little one up here too. There. All right. So we'll take my bone folder, and I've found that if you give the Tear Tape a good burnish, it comes off a lot easier. Okay, so I'll just give it a good rub with my bone folder. And if you're getting jiggled up there, sorry about that. And I'll just take your pick tool and find a little edge here. See if we can get it to get started. There we go. So we'll just take these edges and fold them up there. Keep that as straight as we can. Okay. Or you could just trim it off, I guess. That might be easier. Because I'm noticing some of these are they're going to go farther over than I want them to. So I think what I'm going to do is just trim those nice and flat, straight. Might be easier from this side, like that. Okay. So I'll just get those all together like that. And we'll grab a couple of these. Okay. Normally I would use, see, I don't have sticky scissors really anymore. So, but I used to keep a pair of our craft and rubber scissors from back when Stampin' Up! Had those. They were great. And I would use those for all my sticky things. We don't have too many of those sticky things anymore. We haven't had to trim stamps in a long time. Some of you are probably going, what? Trim your stamps? Oh yeah, they didn't used to come die cut like they do now. We used to have to do that. And you get a stamp set to put together, you had to cut around the stamps. And you had to, yeah, it was crazy. Mount them on the wood blocks. It was crazy. The things we did because we love to stamp. All right. Let's see if this is better. I think it's going to be. Yes, this is going to be far better. Okay. So these are just peeling right off, which is great. There we go. So this would be something we would consider a dry adhesive. A tape like this is considered a dry adhesive because you don't have to let it dry. It's not wet like a glue. Okay, so then we'll just, woo! Gotta be careful when you open that. Sometimes it goes flying. So you'll see sometimes you can pick up nice big sheets like that and just lay them right where you want, but they tear a little bit, so you have to, you know, as long as you're covering the adhesive. But the other way is to, if your piece fits in there, just just whoa, just press it down with your fingers. So I'm just pressing it onto that tear tape. It's just so soft and fluffy. Oh, I can feel a spot over here. So sometimes you can reach and, you know, you feel the sticky, so you just add a little bit more to that spot. Okay. Now I keep a sponge. Whoop, I got some on my jacket. It can be a little bit messy, but it's so much fun. So I keep a sponge, just a little chunk of a sponge nearby so that I can brush off the extra. And when you kind of burnish that with your sponge, you kind of go over it, it smooths it out, so you don't have quite so much. It doesn't look so rough. See how it looks rough here? You can smooth that out. Here, let me move a little farther this way. Okay. So if you haven't played with this yet, you might want it. Because it's really fun. I'm going to do another video showing that you can make spots. So bet you can guess which dry adhesive we would use to make little gold polka dots, right? There. All right. Let's move that out of the way and get the top on before we have an explosion. All right, there we go. So there is that. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way it is with the green. That's shaded spruce. Isn't that pretty? Sometimes I take this little makeup brush. I sometimes use this to get embossing powder off where I don't want it. It also works great for getting the gilded embellishment here off where I don't want it. So I will finish that up into a card. Maybe we'll use one of our cute little donkeys, or might look good as a more masculine Valentine. We'll have to see what I end up doing with it. And I will use that as the front part of the video, the picture on the front. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Have fun.